A girl attempting to drop a hint to her boyfriend says, "Honey, I'm wet." He looks puzzled for a moment and responds, "Do you need a paper towel?" She playfully rolls her eyes and says, "No, I was hoping for something a bit more than that." He thinks for a moment and then asks, "Oh, so like two paper towels?" She giggles and says, "No, silly, I want something big and round." He exclaims, "Oh, you mean the entire roll?" A teenage boy is gearing up to take his girlfriend to the prom. First, he goes to the tuxedo shop to rent a tux, but encounters a long line, making it take ages to finally secure one. Next, he decides to pick up some flowers and encounters a huge line at the florist. Despite the long wait, he eventually gets the flowers. He then stops to rent a limo, only to find another large line of people waiting. Despite the delay, he patiently secures a limo for the night. Finally, the day of the prom arrives. The teenager and his girlfriend are dancing and having a great time. When the song concludes, his girlfriend requests him to get her some punch. So he heads over to the punch table, and to his surprise, there is no punchline. A very irritable elderly woman was apprehended for shoplifting at a supermarket, causing trouble for everyone involved in the process, from the store manager to the security guard and the arresting officer. Throughout the ordeal, she expressed dissatisfaction and criticized every aspect. When she stood before the judge, he inquired about the item she had stolen from the store. Defiantly, she replied, "Just a stupid can of peaches." The judge then sought an explanation for her actions, to which she responded, "I was hungry and forgot to bring any cash to the store." Curious about the contents of the can, the judge asked how many peach pieces were inside. With a touch of hostility, she retorted, "9, but why do you care about that?" The judge, maintaining patience, explained, "Well, ma'am, because I'm going to give you 9 days in jail, 1 day for each peach." As the judge prepared to deliver his verdict, the woman's long-suffering husband timidly raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. The judge granted him the floor, asking, "Yes, sir, what do you have to add?" The husband meekly stated, "Your Honor, she also stole a can of peas." A woman named Jane visited her doctor, expressing concerns about bone density issues, a lack of libido, and persistent mood swings. Trusting her doctor's belief in holistic health, he recommended testosterone therapy, highlighting its potential to enhance bone health, increase libido, and stabilize mood. Though initially skeptical, Jane decided to give the treatment a chance. After a few days, she felt a remarkable improvement in energy and mood. Eager to share her positive experience, she called her doctor. When he answered, Jane enthusiastically began, "Doctor, I must say I'm feeling so much better." The doctor, pleased with the feedback but curious about her initial hesitation, gently prompted, "However, is there a problem, Jane?" She hesitated before admitting, "Yes, there's been some unexpected hair growth." Concerned, yet trying to reassure her, the doctor explained, "That's normal, Jane. Testosterone can cause a bit more hair to grow." Curious, Jane inquired, "Where exactly is it growing?" After a moment of hesitation, she blurted out, "It's growing on my balls." Jessica had been eyeing a brand new set of furniture for their living space for quite some time, but her husband was not on board with the idea. Every single day she would approach him with the same request, hoping he would finally agree to update their living room with the new set. However, without fail, his response was always a refusal. Eventually, he grew somewhat tired of the continuous back and forth and concocted a plan to put an end to it once and for all. One day, as Jessica repeated her usual plea, her husband turned to her and proposed, "You can indeed get that brand new living room set you've wanted for so long, but it comes with a single non-negotiable condition." Feeling a surge of excitement and believing she might finally get her wish, Jessica eagerly responded, "I'll do anything you want, just name it." Her husband, maintaining his serious expression, laid out his stipulation, saying, When the day comes that you have grown hair on your chest, that's the day I'll agree and will purchase your desired living room set. Jessica was dumbfounded and disheartened by this odd and seemingly impossible requirement. But how could I possibly grow hair there? She wondered aloud. Her enthusiasm faded into confusion and disappointment. The husband, feeling triumphant in his clever diversion, simply flashed a grin, offered no solution, and went about his day, heading off to his workplace. However, that evening when he returned home, a surprise awaited him. Jessica greeted him with her eyes sparkling with triumph and a smile stretched across her face, reminiscent of their joyous early days together. She announced with glee, "Guess what? I went ahead and placed the order for my living room set this afternoon." Perplexed, the husband couldn't help but ask, "Really? Did you somehow manage to grow hair on your chest?" Pressing further for authenticity, he insisted, "I'm talking about genuine hair growth, not using any sort of artificial means or attachment." With confidence, Jessica declared, "Yes, I absolutely have." Skeptical, the husband demanded evidence, saying, "I need to see this for myself." Complying with his request, Jessica then proceeded to lift her skirt boldly, stating, "Here it is," as she gestured toward her private region. Incredulous, the husband blurted out, "But that's not your chest." Jessica gave a sly smile and said, "Indeed it is. Before we were married, you referred to it as your hope chest. Since we've been married, you've utilized it as your tool chest. Therefore, if I don't get my living room set, it's going to be the community chest." Interviewer: "How much milk does your cow produce?" Farmer: "Which one, the black one or the white one?" Interviewer: "Black one." Farmer: 2 liters per day. Interviewer: "And the white one?" Farmer: 2 liters per day. Interviewer: "Where do they sleep?" Farmer: "The black one or the white one?" Interviewer: "The black one." Farmer: "In the barn." Interviewer: "And the white one?" Farmer: "In the barn also." Interviewer: "Your cows look healthy. What do you feed them?" Farmer: "Which one? The black one or the white one?" Interviewer: "Black one." Farmer: "Grass." Interviewer: "And the white one?" Farmer: "Grass." Interviewer: Annoyed: "But why do you keep on asking if black one or white one when the answers are just the same?" Farmer: "Because the black one is mine." Interviewer: "And the white one?" Farmer: "It's also mine." Kathy's new job. After a long stint in prison, Kathy landed a job at a candy shop. On her first day, she showed up in a proper yet practical dress, expecting a variety of tasks. However, her initial duty involved retrieving candy from the front register. The first customer arrived, glanced at the candy, and requested licorice. Since it was on the top shelf, Kathy had to navigate the ladder to fulfill the request. The second customer approached, surveyed the candy shelf, and asked for peppermint. Once again, Kathy found herself ascending and descending the ladder for the top shelf item. Subsequent customers also preferred candies from the top shelf, keeping Kathy busy on the ladder throughout the day. At day's end, Kathy approached the owner, George, with a question. "Hey, may I ask why all the popular candy is on the top shelf?" George scrutinized her. "I don't think it's about the candy. They might have wanted to see your undergarments." "Huh. Well, the joke's on them. I don't even wear panties." An elderly priest had grown weary of hearing confessions of adultery from members of his parish. One Sunday, during his sermon, he declared, "If I hear one more confession of adultery, I'll resign." Since he was beloved by all, they devised a code word to address the issue: fallen. From then on, those who had committed adultery simply confessed to having fallen. This arrangement worked well for both the aging priest and his congregation, ensuring peace for many years. However, after the elderly priest passed away at the remarkable age of 93, a new, younger priest took his place. The new priest decided to pay a visit to the mayor and expressed his concerns. He said, "Mayor, something must be done about the sidewalks in our town. You wouldn't believe how many individuals come into the confessional speaking of having fallen." The mayor began to chuckle, realizing that no one had informed the new priest about the code word. But before he could explain, the priest playfully pointed his finger at the mayor and remarked, I don't see why you're laughing. Your wife fell 3 times just last week. In a remote mountain village, every spring, a particular mountain woman followed a consistent routine. She would journey down to the town as soon as the frosty ground warmed up. Her annual agenda always included giving birth to a baby, gathering supplies for the upcoming summer, and then returning to her mountain home. After several years and an ever-growing number of children, she looked particularly fatigued when visiting the local doctor. Doctor, she sighed, I'm at my wit's end. We now have 7 children, and it seems like every year there's another one. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take. I have to do something to stop having all these babies, or I'll go completely mad. The doctor, after giving it some thought on how to address this issue tactfully, finally came up with a plan. He advised, on your way out, buy a 10-gallon bucket from the store. Every night before you go to sleep, place both of your feet inside that bucket and don't remove them until morning. The woman, feeling hopeful, nodded in agreement, thinking that this might be the solution she was desperately seeking. However, the following spring, right on schedule, the woman was back in the doctor's office, ready to deliver another baby. The doctor was utterly astonished and asked, Ma'am, I distinctly remember instructing you to sleep with your feet inside a 10-gallon bucket every night. What on earth happened? She replied with an innocent look. Well, Doc, when I went to the store, they had run out of 10-gallon buckets, so I thought 2 5-gallon buckets would work just as well.